Donald Trump has flipped once again. He pressed the snooze button on recession. On April 9th, when the reciprocal tariffs went into effect, he suddenly rolled them back. This after he said that he would stand tall and not go back on his decision. In any case, he announced a 90-day pause on the discounted reciprocal tariffs that he announced on April 2nd for all countries except China, keeping 10% baseline tariffs intact. Instead, for China, there was another bomb. He imposed 125% additional tariffs on China, which, by the way, added to the earlier tariffs that were levied on Chinese goods before Trump took charge, comes in at 145%, and that effective immediately. He said that it was due to lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets and because it retaliated too soon instead of peacefully talking and making a deal. So while every other country was cheering, China was feeling the FOMO. It was left out. But the question is, what made Trump roll the tariffs back? Was it the stock market? Well, not really, but a pressure from investors, yes. You see, the tariffs triggered fears of recession, and then there was sell-off in the US government bond markets. The US Treasury Secretary and the White House officials also raised concerns of a sell-off in the bond markets. What are bonds? Well, government bonds are like government-issued securities that you buy, and instead the government pays you an interest. Say like a fixed deposit with the government, which gives you a fixed interest. But if there is a sell-off in the bond market, the prices of government bonds come down, which means that the investor trust in the country is losing. And thus the interest rates on these bonds that the government has to pay goes up. Bond yields went up overnight after the tariffs were announced, and that's not a good situation for the Trump administration. It's more spending for them.
Bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy.
Second, to isolate China. As per reports, the president and his advisors agreed that China's decision to impose retaliatory tariffs on the United States gave them an opportunity to pause tariffs on other countries as a token of friendship and isolate China. These increases in tariffs are expected to impact the Chinese economy and the growth to 4% from 4.5% as per Goldman Sachs. Other countries too are acting against China to make sure that they are friends with the US. As per reports, Vietnam is eyeing a crackdown on some China trade. It is preparing to cut down on Chinese goods that are shipped to the US via its territory and will tighten controls on sensitive exports to China. But this could backfire. US is reliant on Chinese goods, and finding an alternative so soon is not going to be very easy. Even for automakers and companies like Apple who manufacture in China, it's going to be an issue. Reports say Apple flew 5 planes full of iPhones from India and China in 3 days to beat Trump tariffs before April 2nd. Third, and most importantly, Trump has probably won this battle. He, in a speech, said that he's getting back-to-back calls from the world leaders who are dying to make a deal with him. Here's what he said earlier.
They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
So now Trump can get what he wants as countries are giving concessions or trying to negotiate.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.